Hey guys, it's Brandon, aka B.Rich Beauty, aka your beauty best friend. Happy Monday, y'all! Welcome to Reali-TEA with me and Jeremy McShann. Guys, you know what to do. Grab your tea, grab your beverage. Let go. You know what they say, if you can't hype your own self, I get so hyped during that when my
Oh,
intro plays.
listen,
I'm
I
like,
feel like I love it. I'm always giving a move. Like when they on the reel, they come out dancing. I'm always
I
like,
see you, Jeremy. I'm like,
what's up?
Jeremy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Brandon? Hey, Amanda. How are you? What's up?
Thank you. That was that. What that's what that wave was for. It was for you, Amanda. I'm sorry. Like I got my tea and I was in mid sip. I'm great. I'm gonna tell you one thing, friend, because
Yeah.
you're my friend, and I got the beauty besties out here. He's
Uh-huh.
a little tired. It was Art Basel here in Miami, and we haven't had it in like 2 years, and so the kids were out bozzling like they weren't bozzling before, and I
And
joined in a few of those parties, and
yes,
he's a little tired,
he's
but
tired, huh?
I'm well.
Yes. Well, and I
Mm-hmm.
got back in today from Orlando. Um,
You have your wallet, your keys, your
I have,
glasses.
listen, the only crazy story I had was trying to get there because JetBlue they delayed my flight from 4 to 4:30 to 5 to 6 to 7. So then I'm at home chilling. And then it's like 3 something. They're like, oh, your flight gonna leave at 4:30. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I rushed to get there. There's a long ass line. So I'm like, I'm not gonna make my flight. So I go to the front line. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. I'm about to miss my flight. Can I stand here? And the lady is like, yes. So I walked straight up to the front. I bypassed everybody, and I made it on by the grace of God.
Did you have a carry-on with you?
So I had to check my bag. So I checked it earlier in the day because the flight kept moving backwards, and but you still have to check it in by the regular time. And I live down the street from the airport, so I was like, I'm gonna stay at home. So luckily, my bag was checked, and I just had a book bag, so I was able to just.
But Jeremy, they tell you even if your flight is like you're supposed to still be at the airport in case it goes back on time.
They do tell you that, but if your flight's supposed to leave at 4 o'clock and they're telling you your flight leaving at 7, honey, I'm not sitting at the airport when I live 5 minutes down the street from the airport. What are you talking about?
And therefore, then you end up rushing and having to cut in line.
You know
And
what?
thankfully, someone was nice enough to allow you, because I would look at you crazy and be like, "Are you even supposed to be in this line?"
It was like a whole movie. I like when the people be like, go get her, and let you through the line. The people let me on through, and then the line, same in the baggage claim. The people's like, come on, go, go, go. Then I get to the gate. She said, oh no, I hate Orlando Airport, ma'am.
I did
Like,
too. It's
and
old. It
it
feels old.
listen, right. So I mean, so that was that. I mean, we made it.
But Jeremy, you know what they say, right?
What they
They
say.
say God protects babies and fools. And I'm not calling you a baby or a fool, but there is some crazy hedge of protection.
Ain't
Your
it?
ancestors be working overtime for
Yes.
you.
Listen, now I'll be wondering what's happening. I said, I got a story to tell. Still
Your ancestors be like, oh, here he go on the move again. Let
right.
me just go ahead and clock in for overtime. God, can I get some overtime today? Because Jeremy's on the move.
That part, right. I'll be in New York on Friday, so hopefully I'll have no crazy story for the people. So we shall
When you
see.
go to New York?
Friday.
All right, so guys, next Monday we gotta stay tuned. Jeremy, I'll be in your backyard next Monday, actually,
Okay. I'm actually not gonna. I'll still be in New York, so I'll be doing the show from New York.
and I'll be
But
doing the show from like DC.
right, we gotta talk afterwards because I wanted to ask you about all of that stuff too. So perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So wait, what you gotta ask me? I mean, you want
No,
to?
I want to go to the show, but I can't go to the show. But I've been telling everybody about Raleigh Knox's amazing Beyonce inspired show that's on Tuesday, and I'm so sad that I cannot go. But I've been sending the link to everybody, and people are like, "Oh my god!"
City Winery, all my beauty besties. If you're in the DMV, citywinery.com. Go there, look for their show. Riley Knox, she's the number one Beyonce illusionist in the world. This is her comeback show. Sis is working overtime, making costume, doing dance rehearsals, working out to get that stamina. I'm going to the show, y'all. That's why I'm coming to DC. So I hope to see if y'all could come. Get y'all a ticket, and the tickets are affordable too.
I'm so mad about this, and I try to get my friend, he's doing a birthday thing. I'm like, we should go to this, and I'm like, every day I keep trying to convince him, and I'm like, and I cannot. This is like one of my best friends that I cannot bail on not going, but I want to go to this so bad. You have no idea.
I'm so excited. I've seen Riley perform all the time on YouTube, personal concerts in my living room, but I've never seen her live and in living color, and I'm so excited. So Beauty Besties, December 14th, City Winery in DC. Check it out. Get you a ticket, and if you do come, tell your beauty best friend hi. Okay?
How about that?
Jeremy, you ready to jump into these hot reality conversaciones?
Baby, yes, I am. Let's get us started.
Let's go on down to the Huntsville. So I didn't even get it out yet. You're like, ooh. We got part 1 for the reunion for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I'm going to tell you this, Jeremy. I knew Carlos King did not come to play when I saw his hairline and that beard shape up, because that thing was sharp. It could cut a piece of cheese.
Listen, okay? He did not come to play with y'all, okay? And I mean, the perfect person, I think, to do the host, because like they said, any other hosts don't really know everything that's going on, which I think one of the reasons why it makes Andy such a good host, because he knows when people are BSing, she was cute and stuff like that. But we need somebody that really can call the people on their BS, because they know when it's happening. And these guys on Love and Marriage are very good with the BS detectors and being able to like finesse people.
I think Carlos has created a new blueprint for those that are the executive producers and creators of shows as they act as the host for a reunion. Because as much as I love a good Andy and a reunion, they were nervous. They kept saying, but you know where the bones are buried, the bodies are buried, you know the questions and the answers more than anybody else. They were nervous for him. By him being their host. And that's a good type of thing, because they were on their toes. And Carlos asked the questions. It was so good. I felt like this episode came with a side of calories. I was like, am I going to gain some weight after watching this decadent episode?
So
because
good.
It was delicious.
I was in the middle seat of my plane. Yes, I was in the middle seat. And I'm sitting there like, ooh, and like making noises. And the lady beside me is looking like, oh my God, what is this man doing? Like, it was so many moments, and I'm laughing aloud. Like, so many moments of this where I was just gag-worthy moments for sure.
I had I knew I scared my neighbors. I had hollering moments. And the first hollering moment, I was shocked, because what? Glow in the dark, highlighter, neon taste the rainbow, Skittle outfit did they put on Tisha and allow Tisha to come out?
And to put on herself and allow herself to come out looking like that. It was
along with her.
I thought she was a Sesame Street character. So I was like, wait a minute, sis, what is going on? But you know what? Her makeup was really good. Compliment sandwich. Her makeup, I thought her makeup was good. You didn't like her makeup?
No, whoa. What compliment are you about to throw out there, non-makeup artist?
I mean, to me, from what I normally see on the show and then what I saw on the reunion, it looked like it was good to me. So let's go to the professionals. Beauty Bestie, what you think about that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, because let me tell you something. Oh wait, it was this way. Right, I'm gonna tell you. Do it again.
Beauty Bestie, what you think about that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, because what I saw along with her 60s doo-wop pop girl group hairstyle was, it looked like they took some highlighter, some Fenty bomb somebody, and exploded it all over her face like Tinkerbell's greatest dust moments. And it was nothing but shimmer all the way up here. It was then the residual of shimmer through her face. I didn't know if she was oily. I didn't know if she was sweating. Okay. It looked like she went face forward, side, forehead, in the middle through Michael's glitter.
Okay, you know what? The more I think about that, I do agree with that. Now, I feel like Kimmy was best dressed to me, of the women that we've seen so far.
I
I was
like Kimmy's outfit.
underwhelmed with Melody's outfit choice. I was very underwhelmed with that.
So Melody's outfit gave me a little bit of quinceañera mixed with like I'm going to a 50th birthday party. What?
With superhero, she was giving me superhero with the
With this aerodynamic piece that was coming up with one sleeve and no shoulder. Like, here's the thing. Mal's outfit didn't throw me off. It was the wig that threw me off. The part was down here and curved around. And I was like, what the heezy for sheezy is this helmet wig that they put on her?
Agreed. And on not only that,
pretty,
like I think for this moment she could have gave us classic blonde Melody. That's what I was waiting for. Like that moment, do your little scenes where you switch it up in the show, but we need classic Mel for this.
And we didn't get classic Mel at all. Like the outfit it felt very much confused. I didn't know if I was looking at prom, quinceañera, 50th birthday party celebration for your auntie's best friend.
Right.
It was weird, the outfit. I will say this though. The outfit it was the Fenty Kilowatt highlighter. Didn't I not say that? I couldn't remember the name.
Thank you, Natalia.
It was the Fenty because you know why? That highlighter is really textured. It's really, really chunky, and you almost have to highlight like this. You can't just boom like that because what happens is it gets everywhere, and you look like a glittering disco mess.
Right.
Talk about a night at the disco. It was all on Tisha's face.
And obviously Martell looked the best of the guys. He always comes correct. And that was to be expected.
That blue suit looks good. And I will say this though, Carlos King's suit was really, really nicely done. Very crisp.
Oh, he looked great too. When him and Martell stood by each other when they came out, I was like, they're very coordinated together.
It was a cute little couple moment. They look like they could have been a little couple, honey, on the side. But I'm just saying.
Right. Oh, that made me remind you. I'm gonna have to send this to you too soon. Nick Cannon.
I think I know what you're about to talk about, and I don't want to get sidetracked.
Yeah, I know. I did that. When you said that, it just made me think of it. But I don't know if you've seen this one, but I'm gonna send it to you.
I saw. Sorry, guys. Side note: T.S. Madison popped up on my feed today because she does her morning show, and I think she's hilarious. Love T.S. Maddie. Love you, Maddie. And I think that was one of the topics, and she showed some stills of Nick Cannon in his very nicely tailored European cut suit with his black boy joy all up and through that suit.
Baby, this is not that picture. That's all.
Oh, she called him Jolly Old Saint Nick. Emphasis on the jolly. Okay. So send it to me, Jeremy. But let's talk about the chaos and the toxicity of Martell.
Oh my gosh. Wait, first of all, I love the fact that they sat down with the original six because it's been such a long time since we've seen them and been together. And it was just nice to be able to, we just need to talk to them about some things before we go and talk to these other people. So that was great. Martell, it's very evident after watching this show how desperately this man needs to go to therapy because he does not understand the gravity of his actions, like how it has really impacted people. He does. I think he knows that is wrong. What he did was not good, but he does not know the huge impact that it's had on people's lives. And to me, that's very scary.
I think he understands the impact. I don't know if he understands the weight behind it. And he's still in denial. The fact that this man said one of the reasons why he regrets doing the show is because he feels like it accelerated the loss of his family. When you're looking at it through the wrong lens, sir, you did this show because your wife wanted to do the show. You did what you did. and you did what you did over and over and over again, what accelerated the loss of your family. Because as we saw, even when they were on the verge of getting divorced, they got back together when Mel was pregnant. And that takes me to the piece where Carlos highlighted it, well, because Mel mentioned, she noticed interesting behaviors from him after she had the baby while they were all supposed to be on lockdown. And Carlos asked, where were you going? You were leaving the house. And he sat there and lied, because you're not going to tell me he's not lying here, and said, I was going to the gym. Whose gym, sir? Because my gym, the LA Fitness I belong to, and I don't know if they have a Huntsville Fitness or what Planet Fitness, but the gyms were closed.
The gyms was closed all the way down. And when these people are talking about they going to the gym and they be gone for hours on end, then you already know that there is something up. Because why are you going to the gym? First of all, y'all live in Huntsville, so ain't no gym you should be gone for hours on end anyways. It's at most 15 minutes to get to where the furthest gym. You in the gym, we may give you an hour and a half because your body looking right. You need to be back home within 2 hours, under 2 hours.
Not only that, sir, you get in a workout somewhere else, but it's not in the gym. You're not bench pressing a weight. You're bench pressing a person. And like Carlos said, what was open?
Right.
Okay.
But then you heard him say, when Carlos said the gyms were closed, he said, not my gym. So was he calling her a gym?
Oh, maybe, because he was getting his exercise and his practice in.
Getting his exercise and his practice in. And like he said, the reason she's upset with you is your actions told her that whatever you had to do was more important than her and the family. And he's like, well, dang, why you make it sound so bad when you put it like that? It is bad. It's horrible. It's disgusting.
You physically left your home before we even knew what this whole Panasonic Panorama Pan con leche was about. We were in the middle of a whole lockdown, and you left your home, your wife with a newborn, with watching your existing children, went to parlez-vous français with this side chick over here, and brought whatever you did on the outside back in your home and put your entire family at risk. What? A piece of kitty cat?
Listen, and that's why, it's just crazy to me. Even when they ask about him having a baby, he was like, well, he will not refuse to give the birth date of the baby and refuse to give the timeline of this. And this to us is just further like, dude, you're sick and you need to get some help, because what you're selling right now is disgusting lies, delusion.
The lies. Now, here's my question for you all. Does he need regular therapy, or does he need like a sex therapist? Because if you're willing to jeopardize your entire family in the middle of a Panasonic Panorama and everything else, a pandemic, is it really the cheating and the act of it, or is it the sex behind it that you just can't not go without? Because he loves to throw Mel under the bus and say he wasn't receiving certain sexual acts at home. So is he now officially a sex addict? Is he pulling a whole Eric Benet here?
He is not a sex addict, just like I agree with Carlos said. I don't think he's a sex addict, but he does need to go and get some healing from whatever it is that he's doing, because he's not really realizing whatever he's dealing with is causing him to have these actions that have devastating consequences on the lives of other people and himself. And until he really figures out why he's doing these things that he's doing, he's going to continue to do these, and it's going to continue to further hurt people, and you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to always be stuck at where you are.
So then here it pushes us forward to the next piece. Is he really that much more in love with the coleslaw, the side chick? Because like Carlos put it, she can't just be a side chick alone. She has to be the full restaurant at this point, because you're seeing her, which I thought was an amazing analogy. You're seeing her in the morning during business hours. You're seeing her after business hours. You're seeing her for an appetizer and dessert. So do you love her more? And that was kind of like the cliffhanger we got, because the question was, if you met her, before you met Mel, would you be married to the side chick now?
Right.
And we got nothing but deafening silence.
And see, I think that's the huge issue, right? We don't see him, like, I'm sure he has messed with other women, but the problem is you keep going back to the same woman over and over and over and over and over again. Damn the consequences. You keep going to the same person. So that to me tells me this person is feeding a need, not just only a sexual need, but some other kind of need as well too. And and instead of just leaving and moving on, he tries to have his cake and eat it too, which is not possible.
Mm-mm. And I feel like with this part one, I appreciate that it was all 6, because once I saw the preview for part 2, I was like, oh crap, yes, Tiffany and Lewis are on here. I totally forgot about them. But it almost felt like Mel and Martell needed their own reunion for an hour just to work through most of their marriage stuff, because the majority of this first part was all about them.
Right. And he says he's not a cheater at heart, which to me is crazy. And,
what's the difference between cheating and being a cheater? Because he says, I'm not a cheater, but you're cheating. What's the difference, y'all? Jeremy, what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Even to the point where he tries to blame Marceau for that him and Melody was cheating with one another. Now, that was just crazy.
That damn timeline was so crazy, and how his mind was so broken that he was really upset that his friend extended an invitation to get his ex-wife out the house because they were in a huge fight. Like that was stupid to me. Let me look at some of these comments real quick.
Yes, he's a dumb cheater. LaTanya said, "Yes, girl, he is a dumb cheater."
LaTanya, he is a
girl. I'm calling you LaTanya. LaTanya.
Not only is he a dumb cheater, but he's a lazy cheater. He's a horrible cheater. But you know what? He's a lazy cheater, but he's a manipulative cheater, because like he said to Mel,
oh my God, yes.
The elders, and I need to know what elders he's talking about, that cheat, told him to not cheat with anybody who has something to lose, who does nothing willing. Don't cheat with anybody who has nothing to lose, and always make them sign a contract. What?
Now, listen, I believe he talked to these guys, because there's many guys that have this mentality, right? That I'm going to cheat, but if I'm going to cheat, I'm going to cheat with someone that has something to lose, because to them, it gives them some false sense of protection, right? Because you're not going to, you can't tell on me, because you're going to also lose whatever you got to lose. Or people will only cheat with people that are in relationships, right? Because if you're in a relationship, you cheat with me and I'm in a relationship, then I don't want to lose my relationship. You don't want to lose yours. So, I mean, it's just crazy. And that, he is of the notion that I'm a man and a man's going to do what a man's going to do, and a woman's supposed to accept that. And I think he's seen his mom deal with that, and just seen women in general deal with that. And that's what he expected from Melody. And for a long time, that's what Melody was doing. Melody was doing that for a long time. She was upset with it, not accepted, but she continued to be in a relationship with him and allowed him to do that.
So, Mel mentioned before the show, like back in 2017, the whole phone call situation. He would, the girl got an attitude with Mel on the phone. Then, right then, would it all have been going downhill? Because I would have lit his ass up, right? But I don't know if I can firmly believe that Mel did not suspect any infidelity the entire time prior to the show exposing it.
Of course he did. Come on now. One thing we've learned about Melody and Martell is that they're all about perception, getting a bag and stuff like that, which in some cases is not bad. But these are two people that were in divorce mode that came back together solely because there was an opportunity for them to be on TV.
Yeah.
Solely. I mean, that's what they basically are admitting to. She was living in a different apartment. They weren't even living together.
Yeah, she moved out.
Right. So the fact that now this opportunity comes, you convince him to come be back with you. And yeah, he didn't think that Melody would leave him at all.
Is that because he gave Mel what she wanted, was to be on television? So therefore he thought that was going to keep Mel in the house?
He wanted to be on TV just as bad as Melody. Do not get that twisted. Listen, people that do things for their wives, Juan Dixon, Michael Darby, people that we see maybe come here or there for the show. We can tell that they could care less whether or not they were a part of these shows like that. They're doing it for the sole purposes for their wives to be on the show. Martell loves every bit of being on this show. He has a publicist. Michael and Juan don't have no publicist to be on Real Housewives of
We don't know that. Do you know that?
Do you see them on interviews? Do you see them meeting? No.
I don't see Juan on interviews, but here's the thing. Juan and Michael's relationship is different than, Juan and Robin's relationship is different than Mel and Martell. Mel and Martell pitched this show together to Carlos. Robin did this for a job, and her husband, ex-husband, baby daddy just happened to come along. So if they pitched it together, the expectation was they present themselves on television together.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They did it together. He didn't just solely do it for her, right? Okay, we're gonna do this, but he loves every minute of being on this TV show. Every minute.
Marcel is absolutely a narcissist, and he's the worst narcissist of them all. He's toxic and everything else.
Mr. Roberts, hello.
So, moving on from the Holtz, were there any? I have a few additional notes, but I know that, like, timing-wise, I still want to just talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This episode was a lot of stuff. By the way,
actually, we going into Salt Lake City?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything else from Huntsville you want to talk about?
Two real quick things. The first thing about Martell basically being upset that Marceau asked Melody to go get a drink when it was a calm me down technique, which is really crazy that he cannot see that. The second thing is I'm very glad that I'm so sick of this Kimmy side chick thing, but I'm very glad we had this discussion because now I understand why Kiowa was upset, right? Because while they did file for divorce, in certain states by law, you have to be legally separated before they do a divorce. So what happened was they were legally separated, filed those papers, but they weren't divorced. During that time frame is when Kimmy comes. So at this point, for Maurice, it's just a technicality of I have to sign these papers. Kiowa may have been holding out hope until the last signature on the page. And then, like Kimmy said, Maurice was not cheating, but just dating, doing him. And the problem was he stopped with her. So if he would have just kept, ran past her too, it would not have been a problem. But that to Kiowa's bust her bubble. They were not going to be able to get back together. That was her reality check, that we're not going to be back together no more.
At what point do you take it and you move on? Kiowa is married. She's remarried. Like, sis, why are you still upset?
I don't understand. And I love the fact that she called Kiowa to just be like, hey, this is about to re-air. She does.
Well, that's Kimmy. Kimmy, her emotional intelligence is 1,000% above the average person. Right. Like, I like her. She's a friend of my head because she is wise and she's level-headed and she's smart and she knows how to articulate and she has a human compass. And that's why she's so upset with this title of side chick, because she's like, that's not who I am.
Yeah. Oh, and then the bomb where Martell was trying to admit that Melody, gave fellatio to this male suitor, which she did. We know she did do that. But then she said,
you don't know that, Jeremy McShann.
Like Carlos said, how you not gonna remember putting your mouth on somebody? Get out of here.
But you remember somebody putting their mouth on you, though.
Right. She remembered that because she said, I wasn't doing it to him, but he did it to me. Now, I would have gave her a pass if she would have honestly not remembered, and it had been a long, long time ago, because I think that's happened to me before, honestly. And so
here's the thing, that happened back in 2017. You remember your encounters from 2017, Jeremy?
From 2017, yes. But what happened was, real quick story, I was at a party and this guy was like, oh, I think I met you. I think you like some head in your apartment. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, yeah, your apartment, they have no furniture. But no.
Was he right? Or did he get you confused with somebody else that was light-skinned?
First got to college and I just moved into the apartment, so there was no furniture there. But this had to be like almost 20 years ago when it happened. So I obviously did not remember that encounter. Obviously, it was good because he remembered 20 years later. But
You gotta leave that person with lasting memories.
but I
Street cred.
I would not have been able to, if I saw him in a party, be like, oh, me and this person had an encounter. I mean, that probably says more about me than anything else. I should maybe move on to Salt Lake City. So
And on that note, do you want to move on to Salt Lake City? Thank you for sharing. I'm officially out of tea. And that, I got a corner left. That story, yes, sip your strength, heifer, because that story,
woo,
and the fact that you didn't even remember, but he remembered that you had no furniture. He says, honey, we're taking it back down to the bare bones of it all.
Yes. I mean, this happened like New Year's Day of 2018. This incident had to occur in 2004. So that just let you know.
Well, here's the thing. The statute of limitation of remembering something like that has completely expired. And I don't know if it's just me, but as I get older, my statute of limitation of memory for certain encounters, it gets small. The window gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Listen, if it's over 5 years ago, it didn't happen because I don't remember.
That part. But you know what they do talking about this happening is we're trying to figure out about Miss Mary and what's going on with her church in Salt Lake City.
Is it a cult or nah? Is she goddess or nah? And why is she so rude?
Mary. So the thing about Mary is, I wrote that down. She needs to go to therapy too to heal her childhood trauma, because it definitely started to come out a little bit when she was like, they gave me this church. I was a child. And think about you, Jeremy. Okay, Amanda.
Listen, Jeremy, the kids want to know. Apparently, it sounds like word on the curb and across the street is that you got that good.
I thought we moved on from this. We talk about Miss Pastor Mary.
You can't be bringing up things from your past, honey, from ghosts of Jeremy's past, and not expect the kids to want to sit in it for a second. But continue on with your story, sugar.
So, she was like, I was a child when this happened. But anyway, so they're talking about this whole situation. And, I love Meredith. Mary is rude. She is not.
You can't be a woman of God, a first lady, and all of this other stuff, and telling people that you're better than them, and calling people chubby, and saying
Sure.
You called Heather chubby. Talk about chubby. Like what?
And then had the nerve. It was rude right after she said it. She was like, it was rude.
And then had the nerve to say, she equated to along the lines of calling somebody a thug or from Mexico that makes the drugs. You mean a Mexican cartel, sis? You don't know what a Mexican cartel is?
But no, she clarified herself. She clarified. She said not Mexican. She didn't just say Mexican. She said the Mexicans that make drugs. And we know if we talk about the drug cartel, who we thinking about? We think about the cartel that's down in Mexico. So she clarified. She didn't say Mexicans. She said a thug are the people from Mexico that make the drugs. I'm about to stick up
a thug or people from Mexico that makes the drug. If somebody's from Mexico, are they not Mexican?
Sweetie, she's saying the people from Mexico that make the drugs. That'll be also too, like I'm saying, the black people that are in gangs, right? That's a clarifying.
A Mexican cartel. That's what I said.
Sorry. I'm looking at the comment that somebody said. She blatantly said Mexicans are thugs, but she said the Mexicans.
She did. That's how I took that. She literally said the thugs or like the Mexicans that make the drugs, a Mexican cartel.
Yes, for sure. Yes, but she wasn't talking about all Mexican people. She wouldn't talk about the everyday. If you ain't in the cartel, she ain't talking about you. The shoe don't fit Cinderella.
Jeremy, you're not about to try to talk us in circles, honey, in defense of Mary, just because you believe.
I'm like Meredith. right now. I'm not going to let y'all sit here and talk about her when she has been so good to me and she has been taking up for me. I don't want to hear about any trauma, spiritual trauma, when you don't have facts about it, okay? I don't want to hear about it. You don't have the facts.
The fact that somebody, and this is not funny, because here's also, where I feel like religion can get a little dangerous, right? The fact that somebody mortgaged their home and gave the church $300,000 so she can get her odor gland surgery removed has me like this. Help, help, help.
Well, I mean, That it does. It shows you just the power of influence and the power of being in power, right? You could, yeah. Thank you, girl. Thank you, Amanda. She named us me, Amanda. Is that your cousin?
No,
No,
but
that's
I'm
not
gonna tell you.
her. We
But I'm
we
gonna
still
tell you
got an
something.
eyebrow though. Keep calling
She
in.
agreeing with me because you tried to talk us in circles when I said that she tried to call Mexican people the drug dealers.
So maybe I had just misunderstood. I thought you were saying that she was just talking about Mexicans in general. Period.
She was. She said the thugs or people in Mexico that make the drugs.
So
That's
she
talking
named,
about the
like
Mexicans.
Amanda says on the comments, she named a specific group.
Yes, the Mexican people that make the drugs. Keep going.
Oh, child, I'm exhausted. But anyways, so the thing about it is, it's very dangerous because these people have influence, and when you're going to these churches or wherever, you expect that the whoever's there talking to you knows what they're saying and is saying what they're saying in the your best interest, right? But that's why the Bible says, lean not to your own understanding, right? But it doesn't say you shouldn't have your own understanding as well, too, right? Not just listen to somebody else and just take what they have to say as what they have to say. You have your understanding, then you go and listen to other people, and then you hopefully in that also hear from God, and together you hear from that. But you can't just be going and listening to somebody and them telling you what to do and you just go do it. That's crazy to me.
First of all, is anybody else shocked that Jeremy just recited a whole Bible scripture off the top of his head just now?
Listen, what? Y'all better know.
He better be.
Look how
Yes,
warm this Bible is. Look how
yes.
warm it is.
Oh, you could have got that Bible from the Salvation Army, child.
Child. Okay.
Anyways, but I agree. I agree. Not only is there's trauma, but what I hate is the way they pass the buck on this and how everybody has something to say. Meredith was, excuse me, Lisa was doubling down. No, Meredith, excuse me. It was doubling down on defending her, and Lisa is topsy turvy, back and forth. And now you leave Heather. And did you notice Jenny didn't say anything, didn't say much, and Whitney left to hold the bag. And really, it was just left for Heather and Whitney to hold the bag, which eventually turned into just Whitney holding the bag by herself.
And what Whitney was saying was valid. She was just like, listen, my thing is, why can they sell her expensive items? That part. Yes.
The items that she's just
exactly.
gifting, like she came as Santa Claus Mary and gifted purses and shoes and hats. Oh my.
It's not right. It's definitely not right that they were taking advantage of people beyond what they're already giving to the church. Because the way they kind of explained it was that they were holding extra offerings outside of your normal givings of the offering.
Eve offering.
Eve offering. So you know, it was like, we really need this offering. And so the fact that her church to me appears to be a lot of people that are poorer, that are struggling, that, you know, even Charlinda up at work was working up in her house, and that's her own cousin, and the whole uniform. Like, sis, what? So these people, I do feel like, are being taken advantage of to a certain extent, for sure.
Absolutely. So what we've already seen is one, Mary's crazy. Two, she talks to herself post-pandemic. And three, she's manipulative as well. And you can call it the power of influence, or you can call it manipulation. I'm gonna call the thing a thing, and the thing is she's manipulative.
But and I also think she may be that, but I think she is that, not knowing that that's what she's doing, if that makes sense. I think sometimes we can have actions that are manipulative, but that's because we're not aware of ourselves. We don't go into it like, I'm gonna manipulate this person, but it just kind of comes out like that. She gifted everything she had laying in her closet. She was giving lube, bags, shoes.
She did what?
You said what?
Lube. Oh, Louboutin. Got you. I was like, she gave lube. I was like, Jeremy.
Oh, you know, she was giving the red bottoms to the people's shoes. She groomed. She didn't create. She was groomed. I agree with that 100. And even she admitted to that. She said, I was a child when this happened to me. She literally probably had no choice, because she also would have probably been like Heather's sister, excommunicated, had it not been the case.
She knows, and I agree. She knows what she's doing. She may not intentionally be saying, "Oh, I'm going to manipulate," but she has manipulative spirit, because One minute you can sit here and cry and say, this has been happening to me all my life. I can't help that I've been born into money. And the next minute you could talk crazy out of the side of your mouth, and someone can say to you, I'm sorry I made you feel this way. And you walk away and call them a liar. Who are you to tell me I'm lying if I offered you an apology? Because then, yes.
I think the thing about with Mary is we are seeing that really how sheltered she has just been, right? I think this is probably for the first time in her life that she's ever really gotten the opportunity to interact with a group of people that could potentially be friends, and she has no idea. She's probably been just so much on a pedestal as this is Pastor Mary and Pastor Granddaddy, and like, and she's not been able to go out with a girlfriend or have one come over. So this is probably the first time her doing that, and we're seeing that she doesn't even know how to deal with these dynamics of friend groups.
She's socially awkward.
She is. She's never had this experience before, ever.
Let's see. We got a comment. Her grandma taught all the girls what to do, and Mary was one who was picked to marry the step. Yeah, agreed. Yep. You know, the grandmother groom.
Can you imagine your mama never talking to you no more because she wanted to marry the daddy?
The fact that the daddy child. The fact that everybody was vying to marry the step granddaddy and or daddy Henny is just nasty.
Okay, it is bizarre at the least. And you know, we see Heather meet with her sister, which I thought was another great moment. And you know, really cool. It was, you know, her sister left the community because she married a non-Mormon person, and it just baffles me as someone that's very spiritual, that I'm a very religious person, where we see these religions like Amish, Mormons, Christians, all of these religions that excommunicate people because they're not following the path that they think that they should be following, when we don't even really see examples of God shunning people in the Bible like that. We see Jesus going to the prostitutes, Jesus going to the drug dealers, Jesus going to these people and being with them and talking to them, and they're like having a different experience because someone's coming to them and talking to them about something. We don't. And
the fact that they're saying, if you veer from this path, I won't see you in heaven. Excuse you? Right? Are you sure you're going to get to heaven too?
How about that? And, you know, and Heather is just a victim of someone that is raised with that mindset, and you live with that mindset. And so you think that that's the right thing to do. And so she did what she was taught to do and never did talk to her sister for decades. Her sister had multiple sclerosis and all of that, and don't know nothing about her sister. And they didn't even talk about it because she was dead. She was basically dead to them.
Absolutely. You know, I think
not to go to DC, because as career-oriented women go to DC, you need to focus on finding a husband. So she went to Brigham Young University.
But that's what happens often. Even outside of religion, we see, you know, when you look at certain generations, it is to go to school, find a partner, have children, buy a home. That's the American dream. And no longer does the American dream look like that. And I think no longer does the ideas of what religion is supposed to look like exist anymore. We have this new level of generation. And I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, what is something that the older generation Black people need to hear now? And it was a duet. And the person was saying, like, what we thought was like, you know, guidance and everything else was just originally a lot of trauma. And our generation now is really looking past it, and we're breaking through the trauma. We're having this awakening, and we're challenging our elders on these mindsets. You're not going to come to me and tell me I can't wear this because I look like this, or I shouldn't be doing certain things. And that is what we're breaking out of, are these constructs. She wanted to make her daddy proud. Absolutely. And it was after her daddy died that's when she was able to reach out. And think about it. How many people within our community, the LGBTQIA plus community, don't come out until a parent dies because they don't want to disappoint a parent or a grandparent or something like that? It's one of those things where we are so programmed that we want to please who's an important fixture in our lives, that we can't even live authentically until that person dies or disappears.
Yes, and Amanda said they both admitted they were jealous of one another. She was like, the whole time I wanted to be you, you wanted to be me, and I didn't even realize that until now. But we gotta go.
Oh, child, let me tell you something. We do have to go. I am out of tea, but before I leave, I want y'all to give Jeremy a good old verbal thrashing. I wanted to talk about Portia Family Matters today, but he did not watch it, and he was just like, I can't get into it. And Sunday's episode was actually pretty dope. There was a lot of great things that we could have talked about today, and Jeremy didn't want to talk about it, y'all. So we're not talking about Portia Family Matters today.
Listen, talk about it on Wednesday, on that show on Wednesday, but
don't tell me what to do on my show on Wednesday.
Okay, you're right. You're right. This is your show. However, this is why I don't like this show, right? If this felt to me very organic and real, then yes, I could get with it. This is Portia wants on record that this is her story of how they met and their relationship. And so they're building everything to force us to believe something that nobody believes. And everything that's moving towards that. So I can't watch it. Girl, Latanya, Miss Harris, don't watch it.
Don't do that. Dennis's mama is crazy. I agree. It was damage control. I agree.
Damage control. That's why I don't want to watch this show. It's damage control.
But it's reality TV. You know what level it is scripted. But I'm going to tell you, Portia's grandmother is the MVP from that episode. And that episode is what you will watch just for the grandmama alone. And on that note, guys, we got to go. You know what to do. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video if you like, and leave us a comment. Most importantly, check the notifications and make sure they're turned on. And I'm going to even give you something better, y'all. If you like today's video, share it with one of your beauty besties, one of your good old Judy's family and friends, okay? And on that note, who loves you? I do. See you next time. Bye, Jeremy. Clink, 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 clink.